What's going on, family and friends? We're here at Inside the Empire podcast. I got my guest, Mark Anthony. Mark,
Hey,
how you doing?
good.
Good. Thanks for coming in, bro.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All the way from up the street, not too
Yes,
far.
not
Yeah.
too far. Yeah,
Awesome. Well, it's been a while since we caught up. I know you've been
it
been
has.
doing a lot of things. I've been seeing you doing all sorts of things between the movie stuff,
Yes.
the painting. Tell us a little bit about you and your upbringing before we get into all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
let's
wasn't
start at
ready
the
for that one.
let's start at the beginning. Yeah.
I think that you know, uh, my upbringing is good family.
Hmm.
Um, my dad, was a teacher. He was in law enforcement. Just kind of really a solid family that he's got good values. Making sure that you always have respect in the house. Those kind of things.
Right.
And two brothers, and my family was usually my father also was in the NFL,
Wow.
and
What position?
is a running back.
Oh, dang, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking. I was a running back. That's some
so
jam right
so
there.
running back. Then basketball. He was kind of an all around kind of a guy. Um, he went home. He's passed away. So he's in heaven, and so I'm excited about that. Mom's still living, and brothers, they're doing their thing. They're kind of doing their
Okay.
own thing, and retired law enforcement.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
and I'm the only one that's not retired. What's up with that?
Let's you never retire. We never retired.
I'll just go to the next level. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
So where'd you grow up?
New York.
New York.
So I'm kind of a New York guy, and because we traveled quite a bit, so I went from New York, Arizona a little bit, Florida a little bit, and of course here in Cali. So, but most of the time was here in Cali. Yeah,
Okay. So you've been in Southern California the majority of your.
majority I would say every year. It's really interesting. Every year I'm pretty gone about maybe 3.5 months
Yeah.
every year,
Okay.
and that's been since just a long time.
Since you moved here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much gone. About a quarter of the time.
Nice.
But yeah,
Awesome. So after, let's talk about, you went to school down here. Where'd you go to school? What?
God, man, he's asking me all. Where does this
I'm
guy
getting-
come from?
I'm
Man, why he's
getting you the
asking me all
good-
these questions? What's
Yeah.
up with all this? Okay, so medical school. So I went to med school. Partly, I graduated at St. Thomas University. Now that's in Florida.
Mm.
So that's in a PhD in psychology.
Nice.
Okay, so I had that, and but that's the school side. But it has nothing to do with what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
But the good thing is this: you gotta listen to this part, and you appreciate this.
Yeah.
So
Love it. We got to
yeah.
get the backstory.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta
People
get the
gotta know.
backstory. Yeah,
They gotta
okay.
know who you are, where you
Hey,
came from.
you
We gotta
know,
get the insight.
the
Inside the
inside.
empire. That's why we're here.
Ah.
That's why we're here.
Oh, inside the empire. Welcome,
Yeah.
empire. I'm here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really getting the empire all in my veins right now.
Let's go.
Because so you can imagine. Okay, so a part of the educational component was, and it just leads up to where we're at today.
Mm.
So I didn't have the money to pay for my books, right? So I had these books I had to pay for in medical school, but I was good at math. So a friend of mine says, "Hey, you know what? Do you want to help us do this budget for this film?" And I don't know about no budgets. I mean, I'm trying to do a budget for a film. I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm good with numbers.
Right. Right. What's a budget?
What's a budget? What's a budget? I'm starting right there. That's ground level.
Right.
I want to be a doctor. I don't want to do a budget,
Yeah.
but I need to pay for my college books. So I'll do the budget for $500, right? Man, I saw that $500 check. Man, I was rich. So I did the budget, got paid, and then from there, everything else began to happen. Yeah.
So that was kind of your entry point into your career.
Yeah.
Right there, and you decided to shift past away from the medical.
Right, because of that. Yeah,
Okay.
because when I found out that the pharmacist only made like 65,000 a year, I was like, by the time I was 1 year into doing on the film side, doing the financial business, I was making more.
Right.
And then you gotta imagine, I was 20 something years old. That was over 30 years ago, guy. I mean, I'm trying to show my age
Yeah,
now.
don't be dating
Why are you
yourself here,
doing
bro.
that?
I didn't.
This is
I was
so
waiting right here.
rude. I'm
Yeah.
leaving. They're too far inside.
Yeah.
You're too far inside.
Let's go.
No, but that's
So
that's pretty much what happened.
yeah, so that was
Um,
the entry into your career, which had kicked off and catapulted you into the film world.
yes, and again, there's I think in any business model, there's good and bad on both sides. It depends on what side you're on.
Right.
Yeah. So most of the time, people hear a lot of negative things about the film industry, stuff that you see on YouTube or in the channels. But then, there's also there's a good side where there's good people at. It's people that have morals and they have dignity, they have character, they have integrity, and all that's there.
Right.
But then I think in any business model, you have both sides. It just depends on what side you're on.
Yeah, 100%. So tell me a little bit about kind of that after that entry point, like where'd you go? Did you have good mentors?
Oh
What
wow,
you,
yeah. Mentors along the way. I did. I had the couple of mentors to stand out in my mind. It was one guy. He was named Ray, and this is a funny story. Um, Kind of a sad story, but it's a funny story. And so, in my early 20s, 30s, he said, um, "I went to, you got to invest into yourself.
100%.
So you
Most
got
important thing.
most of the time, a lot of times people don't invest into themselves. So when they look at and they see the fruit of where I'm at today, they think, oh, it was handed to you, but it was
Yep.
nothing was handed. It took a lot of work.
Right.
And so what happened was is that um, a gentleman named Ray, I think I was an executive at a company. I don't know, it was in telecom or something. Because again, telecom film, telecom film,
Mm.
telecom film. And he was in the financial realm, and he says, this is true story. So I'm at this conference in LA, and it was about finances. I was just trying to learn, about gap financing. I'm trying to learn about, uh, how to, just, venture capitalists. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
learn the business, not
Teach me about money.
teach me, show me the money,
Yeah.
show me money.
Yeah.
I get there, and this guy, big old white dude, right? He's got this beard turned up. He says, "Boy, I'm gonna teach you something." I went, "Boy." He goes, "Boy, I'm gonna teach you something. I'm a mentor you, boy."
Love it.
And I went, "Who's this guy think he is?" Because it just happened right after I got up and did my presentation while I was here. I
Mm.
came up, I said, "Look, I don't know a whole bunch, but I'm telling you right now, if anybody invests time into me, I gave the whole speech, how great I'm going to be. I know I'm going to be great. I know I'm
Yeah.
going to be good at this. And if anybody invests their time in me, it's going to be a great thing."
Yeah. You're
And
hungry.
I was hungry. I
Mm.
had I had I had the eye of the tiger. I got down to stage. That guy walks up to me and says, "Boy, I'm going to mentor you." And I was like, I wanted to say, "Who you talking to?" So I walk away,
Mhm.
and some executives come up to me and they said, "Hey, Mark Anthony." They said, "Well, that his mentor price is $1 million."
Wow.
I said, $1 million? Who would pay $1 million to be mentored? I didn't
Yeah.
know that even existed.
Yeah.
Who absolutely goes out and pays all that kind of money to be mentored to? And they go, "Man, he's got a line outside."
Mm.
You know, you just jumped up on the stage and said what you said in front of all these 2,500 people, and you was bold about it,
Right.
right?
You're
Yeah, I was hungry. I said, "Give me the mic. Let me say something." Make a long story short, I met with the guy, and his name is Ray. And Ray he passed away. He had the largest BMW car collection in the United States, 285 BMWs.
wow.
And what he would do is he would get in one at his office, and he would drive to his office, and another BMW would be there, and then he would drive to lunch, and wherever he went to lunch, wherever he called in, there'll be another BMW there. He'll get in that BMW, drive back to the office, there'll be another BMW there, and then he would take another BMW all the way back home.
So he just had his guys running his
He
cars.
has guys running his car,
Yeah.
and he
Nice.
had the largest car collection. That was his thing. That
That's
was
awesome.
his vice.
Yeah.
So, uh, so I remember when he told me that, he says, I'm gonna be in LA again, and I want you to meet me, and he told me in the hotel. I want you to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
Well, I figure, at that time I'm living in the IE, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm
Gotta leave at 5
jamming.
a.m.,
I'm
bro.
jamming and trying to get out. You know the traffic.
Yeah.
I'm jamming. I'm trying to get out there, man. And I get to the hotel, and it is literally 8:58. I'm in the parking lot. I'm thinking to myself, man, I got 2 minutes left.
Mm.
I get into the lobby area exactly 9 a.m. And as I'm getting at 9, as I'm running into the door, I can see him walking towards the what's it called, Continental Breakfast.
Mm.
And I'm standing there, and I'm tired. I'm kind of pumped up, ready to go. I'm excited. I don't have nothing in my hand. I'm just excited just to meet him because he told me to meet him there, and I found out,
Right.
he's the guy that guys that want to spend $1 million on him. I was like, shoot, I'm happy.
He's the
So
hot
I'm right
shot.
there. That's my shot.
Yeah.
He goes over there, he's getting his continental breakfast. He's moving real slow. He turns around. I'm smiling, and he's walking towards me, and I'm smiling. He walks right by me. He gets on the elevator,
What?
and I wanted to be, asked, can I go on the elevator?
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything.
Right.
He turns around while the elevator's open. He looks back and he goes, leaders are never on time. They're always early.
Yeah.
He goes, come back tomorrow. Elevator door closed.
Love it.
I stood in the lobby going, what the
What?
the
I
heck
just
happened?
drove 5
I just
hours in
drove
traffic.
5 hours to get here. I was going nuts. Came back the next day. And I said, I'm going to get him this time. I'm going to be early. So I show up early, and in the lobby again. Ding! I kid you not. He's like his time. He was just straight. He goes to the bar, gets his lunch, everything. I'm standing there. I don't say anything. I don't say a word. Smile. Oh, he walks by me again.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets in the elevator. Goes, I think you'll be ready by tomorrow.
Nice.
Cling. I'm ready to throw my briefcase at this time. I'm kind of ticked off, right? I'm just like, okay, this guy's I called my friends and said, look, dude, if this guy treats me like this again, I ain't coming back.
Right.
I don't care who he is. I don't care how much money. I think my pride is kicking in,
Yeah. Yeah. Your heart.
Yeah. Third day, come back. I'm in the lobby, got my briefcase, got everything ready to go. I said, but this time, I ain't gonna let him walk by me.
Mm.
So he's getting to walk by me. I said, hi. I said, how you doing today, sir? He goes, I'm doing fine. I said, is your day doing well? He says, my day's doing real well, right? And he says, I said, well, I'll be, I said, I'm here to join you today. He says, okay. He says, okay. We get on the elevator. He didn't say anything. I said, why didn't you say I could come yesterday? And he says, because you never said nothing to me. He never spoke. So it took me 3 times. He said, because you didn't open your mouth.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, here I was the guy on the platform with my mouth open. And when I get in front of the guy, I didn't say anything. And he said he didn't invite me because I didn't open my mouth.
Wow.
So for about 2 years, I met him at certain times of the day. Met him at certain times of the evening. And do you remember the movie, what you call it? What's the movie? Karate Kid. Wipe on,
Yeah.
wipe off. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
He had me going through this whole time. I never knew what it was. And he would always talk to me about, he used words like answer, or he'll use the word like access, but he'll use it in different types of ways. And I just didn't understand it. I just couldn't figure it out. Once in a while, he'll say about answer, and that's the answer there, that's the answer there, and he would describe it. And then he would describe other different ways about answers and things and stuff. And then he would talk about, access. And then one day, uh, you know, he would talk to me about, you know, most people don't know where money's at. He would talk to about money.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what he was talking about because I'm the train of thought that money was just in the product or money was just in a service, and that's where you find it at.
Money grows on trees, baby.
And yeah, it grows on trees. And so I was with him this one day. It was about 2 years into it. I still don't really know what I'm learning.
Right.
I'm just really I've never been through this
He's
before.
just drinking from a fire hose at
I'm
that
just
point,
drinking for.
right?
I mean, he's just pouring at me, and then
Yeah.
every time when I'm around him, he got to the point where I would call him dad.
Mm, love it.
And to the point where we go to places and this big old burly guy with boots on, cowboy boots, saying, "Son, get your ass over here." That's how he talked to me, right? and and people would be in the restaurants. He goes, "That doesn't look like that's a white guy, and that's a black dude." And so that's the kind of experience that I had with him. But it was really a very good, authentic business relationship, and I still was trying to figure it out. One day we were on because he would go to the same hotel all the time, and we would go out on the 20th floor, and he would always tell me to bring him a cigar, so I'd bring him a cigar, and one day I was bringing him a cigar, and he says he goes, "You don't even know what you've been learning. It's 2 years into it."
Mm,
I said, "No, sir. I just do what you tell me to do. I look at documents and whatever." He was just telling me. And this was one of the best experiences of my entire life. I never can describe this story enough. And he said to me, he goes, "I want you to look over the building, and when you look over, I want you to tell me what you see." I said, "Okay, I see people, and I see cars, I see everything." He says, "Tell me what you don't see." I go, "Oh, come on." He goes, "Tell me what you don't see." Now, but this time he's cussing me out. Okay,
yeah.
and he's like, "Tell me what you don't see." He goes, "Damn it, you've been with me for 2 years and you can't tell me what you don't see. What have I been training you about on? What have I been training you on?" I said, "Business." He goes, "Oh, no, tell me what you don't see." I'm looking, and it dawns on me. I don't see money, right? I literally in my eyes, I can't see it. I can theorize it. And he goes, "Light my cigar, and I'm going to tell you what I've been teaching you." And as I light a cigar, he sits back, he's puffing it, and he's a real quiet guy. He doesn't respond fast. So he's
Thoughtful.
very thoughtful.
Mhm.
I'm staring at him. And he turns around, looks at me, and says, "Don't be looking at me with them boo boo eyes." Or what's that bear called? Yogi. Yeah. "Don't
Yogi.
look at me with them Yogi
Yogi
bear
eyes.
eyes."
That's a cowboy right there. That's a real cowboy.
He's a real one. And so I said, "Okay." And then he goes like this. He goes, "I never want you to forget this." And puffs a cigar, and he says, "The money is in the money."
Hmm.
And when he said that statement, the last 2 years, he showed me everything about how the money was in the money.
Right.
And that's when I understood the difference between a product or service and where the money was at. And right then, he says, once you learn that the money is inside the money, you always will have money.
Wow. Wow.
Now,
That's great.
and then after that, this is a true story. After that, about maybe 6 months later, uh, I had to meet him. I always met him on Thursdays for dinner,
Mm.
6 o'clock, sharp as a tack. He would come downstairs, would go to dinner, and he would debrief me on everything we were doing. He introduced me to high politicians. He introduced me to Donald Trump. He introduced me to different, just a lot of different people.
Right.
Right?
You had a lot of
Yeah,
connections.
very
Good
just very.
network.
And so every day at 6 p.m., I wouldn't know who we were going to dinner with because they'd show up to see him. And so he would just introduce me to people after people. So this time was 6 o'clock, and I had the key to a suite, but I never would use it. And so 6 o'clock, Boom, the elevator opened. I'm just used to seeing it. And he didn't come down. I said, oh,
Yeah.
maybe he's on the second one. 601. Boom, the elevator opens up. He's not on that one. 603. I'm getting nervous at 603.
This ain't like him.
This is
He's
not,
always on
he's
time.
always on time. You
Yeah.
gotta realize for 2.5 years straight, he's always on
Yeah.
time. So I went to the front desk and I asked, I said, has Ray been down? And they said, no, he hasn't been down. And they started working. I said, can you call up? And we called and he didn't pick up the phone. And that's when I got nervous. So I go to the elevator, go up to the suite, because these are suites. I'm knocking on the door, and there's no answer. Now my heart's beating.
Yeah, you're worried at this
I'm
point.
like worried at this point. So I'm knocking, boom, 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 and I'm Dad, And so I open up the door, all the furniture is gone.
What?
I'm confused. Like, what? And I'm walking around, and I walk over to this table, and there's a note there. My paper. It was a piece of paper that I wrote on when I first met him.
Hmm.
My phone number and all that. And it was my writing. And on the back of it, it says, "Never forget, the money is in the money."
Wow.
And that was the last time that I actually had an experience.
Wow.
Yeah, never forget. And after that, he
Dang.
passed away.
Wow.
And so I was his last mentor.
That's wild.
Yeah, a mentee.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's how that whole thing happened.
That's amazing.
And then after that, I had another mentee. They called him the Godfather of NASDAQ. He kind of built out the systems for NASDAQ, all the algorithms that he had built out. He was the Asian guy. His birthday and my birthday were the same day. Yeah, but he was like 20 years older than me. But he was part of building out some of the new systems that were at NASDAQ. And they call him the Godfather of NASDAQ. So he was teaching me. I was literally almost identical to talking to Ray, that the money was in the money.
Yeah.
And they kept showing me that. And so that system is now in my business model. And so when you understand that, and you really understand it, then you understand that it's more than a product, it's more than a service. It's just, how do you get the money in the money to be? And that's where it's to be. In order to do that, you got to be the answer,
Yes.
because the money comes to the answer.
Right.
The money doesn't follow an opinion.
Yep.
The money only follows the answer. And so, and fortunately, Hollywood uses that quite a bit, and they understand how to do a chaser. And a marketing term for chaser is when the customer that you want, you don't advertise to them. You advertise to them differently, because the customer you want, you want somebody else to be a part of their purchase. And so what you do is that you create a chaser. So it makes one chase another, and it becomes a whirlwind. And so if you want the kids to take the money from the parents, there's a way to advertise to the kids so the kid can go to the parent.
That's right.
If you want the girlfriend to spend some money, you advertise to the girlfriend so the boyfriend can spend, but you tie them both together.
Right.
And it's a chaser.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
So that kind of model there is where is what I learned. And so
Yeah, which is huge in all of marketing, right? Like
yeah.
For us, we
Yeah.
don't want to market to the CEO. He doesn't even handle the marketing. It's the
Right.
marketing director that handles
Right,
the
right.
marketing. You got to get
Exactly.
them to work up the ladder.
Well,
So
it's just no
that's-
different than when we do a film, a film project, or if we're going to look for investors and things like that. So
Let's jump into that a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the business that you got. I know
what's
you
it called
do, I know
again?
you do
What's the name of the show? Where am I at?
few things inside the empire.
Inside the Empire. Ah! So I'm inside the Empire. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your company. You got
Young So.
Yep.
Young So is the name of the company, and we've been investment advisors for film and entertainment now. It's been part of it for over 25 years, and
Phenomenal.
so we've done. I think we got 150 films under our belt.
Awesome.
Um, the latest film, so I don't want to date this particular interview, but I would say by the time people see this, Deadpool 3, go watch it.
Deadpool 3. Let's
Deadpool
go.
3, watch
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Um, we got another one coming out with Lionsgate.
Mm,
Um, it's like the John Wick, but a female version. I think it's called Ballerina, and
ballerina.
and that'll come out. And Nicolas Cage with Dracula. So you're going to see a lot of
Yeah.
these projects come out. And what's interesting is that our specific role is that we travel, we meet a lot of investors, or our typical client would be uh, is always referred.
Right.
It's always referred, and so um, and what the industry is different. Let me talk about the industry a lot, and this probably will help people.
Absolutely.
Is that the industry itself? Well, used to have Paramount and Universal Pictures, and all the studios that we work with currently today, close niche. They used to make their own films,
Right.
and it's from start to finish. And now they don't make films. Like Disney says, we don't make films, we make statements.
Of
That's what you hear from them. So that's why there's unlimited budgets. They got their budgets are so deep panned.
course.
But what's very interesting, in order for them to get that oomph in the film, they are more or less now interested in uh, franchise products.
Right.
A franchise product versus an indie product. So a franchise product is way different approach. And so our company is predominantly involved with franchise products. The reason being is because a franchise product takes about 3 to 5 years to make.
Right. Hence the Marvel hat.
It's a Marvel hat.
Yeah.
Marvel hat.
That's
Yeah.
a good
I got this when I
franchise.
was in the studio, yeah.
That's a good franchise product right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we work with Marvel, Marvel has nothing but franchise products.
Yep.
Because they're working on the third generation right now. So 3 generations of buyers.
Yeah. One of the best in the game.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
and they are. And but their approach to it is, let's start this film 3 years into it, 4 years into it. Let's stop. Let's stop working on it. And we'll put our visual animation out to bid. That's what they do.
Mm.
There's about less than 5 companies out there in the world that absolutely have the capacity to handle the visual animation or the AI
Right.
at the back end, because most of your great producers like a Steven Spielberg, they record one of their projects with about a 10% error.
Mm.
So they don't go back and do, like, they'll tape it with the errors in there, but they're so good they tape with 10 to 15%.
Yeah. And those are few far in between to come across some
Yeah.
experts at that
So
level.
it's like action. They're not going take one,
Right.
take one. We say action, take 25.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
No, they got to get it.
Yeah. So you got about 3 or 4 takes, and that's it. And then after that, you just keep the 10% in there.
Right.
Well, about the 3-year mark, 4-year mark, they stopped that. They put it out to bid so that the visual animation company can come into play and take out all those errors.
Hmm.
Thus
Smart.
the term post-production finance.
Smart. Yep.
So the companies, what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we won the bid from Marvel. Marvel's going to write us a check for XYZ dollars. Hey, young so, we need XYZ dollars to fill this gap so that we can go out and hire the staff to finish off this project.
Right.
So they'll come to us for XYZ dollars, and then we'll go and raise that capital for working capital.
Hmm.
And then we will infuse it into that film project to complete that project.
So that's all through private investors that
It's
you
all
guys
through private
are,
investors, yeah.
building and establishing those relationships with.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, before COVID, there's some things I can't talk about, but we'll
Yeah.
talk about off on air. But before COVID, Disney was the number 1 studio.
Mm.
Now they're number 4.
Well,
And that was pre-COVID. And now Universal Pictures is number 4. Lionsgate is number 5, number 6 right now. And they rose up beyond being in the top. They were below almost 20, but Lionsgate shot up. During COVID, it was very interesting, is that there's, in my mind, there's only 3 industries that never have a recession. Mortuaries,
yeah, that's a fact.
alcohol, and
Mm.
entertainment.
Mm.
They usually don't have any type of recession, because obviously when people are depressed, they I hate to put that, this do suicide, whatever,
Oh,
and sick people die. So
medical,
medical
yeah, anything in
issues,
the medicals.
heart attacks,
Yep.
mistakes, errors, whatever. Alcohol, people drink happy, they drink sad, they drink mad, they drink bitter, they drink angry, whatever. But
Yep.
so it doesn't have a recession. And entertainment film, people watch movies when they're happy, when they're sad, when
Right.
they're so there's not a recession there.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Now during COVID, all it did is switch from there to streaming.
Yep.
So it went to
It went
streaming.
huge, which was a
And
big
it
transition.
was a big transition.
I think weren't they even putting videos instead of going to the theaters? You were able to just buy them directly through some of these streaming
You would
platforms,
buy,
right?
you're ready to buy them.
Yeah.
One of the guys that did very well with that is a guy named Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith owns Thomasville, which we work very closely with. Thomasville is dealing with the incident where the girl got shot.
Mm,
Yeah, Alec
yeah.
Bullock. So we raised we were participating in that capital raise. It's about 66 million.
Well,
So now we're finishing off Rust right now. So we're in the post stage for that right now. Ryan Smith owns that, which he also owns Streamline Global, which is connected to Netflix.
okay.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
That's solid.
Yeah, he's solid. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's because you got to
Shaking
have
it
both
up
sides. You got to have the screen and the streaming.
for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
So we work with them.
Netflix changed the game on that.
Yes.
They're yeah,
Yeah.
ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and so we work with investors closely, and it's by invite only. We don't try to go out and just advertise that, promote it. It's because what happens is that if an investor comes in at a certain amount, they can, again, one of those words, answers and access. We
Of
can
course.
give them access to the red carpets.
Right.
So you can't be crazy going to the red carpets,
Yeah.
right?
Like, oh
can't
my
be-
gosh.
My gosh, there's you can't be hunting down, the
Yeah.
celebrities. and
Adam
stuff.
Sandler.
Yeah. What's up, Adam? It's funny. I was on a call with Adam. I was dealing with him today, earlier this morning. Yeah, Adam, because they try to blacklist him, but anyway,
He's phenomenal.
yeah, Adam's
Yeah.
Adam's a nice guy, and Tashina Arnold's real good people. There's some really good people that are in the industry that are just really good.
Right.
And Jackie Chan, I like working with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
And in fact, we're working on Wish Dragon 2,
Nice.
which Base FX, that's their project. And so Wish Dragon 2, when we did it with Jackie, Jackie did great on it. We had 160 million streams on that one
Wow.
project. And that was during COVID. It came out in June of 2021, and just in half a year, it did 160 million views.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, we were in the
That's
top
huge.
4 that year.
Yeah. Everyone loves Jackie Chan though.
Yeah, Jackie's good.
He's
But Jackie
he's
did
one of the
Jackie-
greatest. He's
Jackie-
a goat, bro.
Yeah,
He is.
Jackie's a go-to. He's really great.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of great actors, and I can't say that all of them are that way. And I think that's with football or basketball or
Life.
working in the hospital, you know.
Yeah.
So, but the ones that I get a chance to meet, I love Keanu Reeves. He's a good
Mm.
dude.
Mm.
Good dude. Just straight around, just a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's great guys out there like that. But when we do the investment side, we meet quality people that want to be that do not want the risk.
Right.
And so and you get the risk if you're trying to do an independent film.
Of course.
But we don't do independents, and we do all back end.
And it's all post production, right?
It's
So you're
all
on the
post.
back end of
It's
this.
1% risk.
Yeah.
And here's the risk, everybody.
That's huge.
Here, I tell you, there is a risk.
Of course.
I'm gonna tell you the risk is if Batman doesn't really get finished. So we gotta
Right.
say it's 1% risk.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
But other than
Which makes
that,
sense.
the journey's been good. I'm looking forward to 24 through 27 because now the industry's starting to come back after COVID.
Yeah.
And companies like yours impact especially in this area. And I wouldn't just say this area because I don't
Right.
think it's an area thing, but there hasn't been a really a marketing agency, not marketing companies, but like a full blown agency to really come out and do what you're doing. No, who takes
Yeah.
that? Who goes? Who does a
No,
podcast? I ain't
let's
never
go.
seen that.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Heck yeah. No, it's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
We
mean,
don't.
I don't see anybody doing that for such a diversity of industries because I wouldn't have thought of this. And I'm kind of a, I would say, I understand branding because product branding was one of the first things I dealt with. I wouldn't have thought of doing a podcast. Normally, this is a service you should charge for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
I would think so. But you're bringing in companies to, what is it called again? Come on, I want to say it again.
Inside the
Inside
empire.
the
Let's
empire.
go. Yeah. Getting inside that empire.
And so, but most companies won't do that because they're not agencies.
Right.
If I can put it to you like that,
Of course.
I think that this is very, very good what you're doing. I think that you're doing a great job with this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
and because it impacts a lot of different business models that are going to start saying, okay, look, I was on the Empire, and they can start using that. Here's my clip from the Empire,
Exactly.
and then the Empire gets out there. But
Yep.
you don't see it in Los Angeles a bit. I don't see it. I'm pretty familiar with a lot of companies that do with P&A or do a lot of P&A, and also PR work, but
Right.
they don't go this route. What you're doing
Yeah.
is something new.
Yeah. It's different for sure. But
Mhm.
it allows us to showcase, business owners provide a service that is also helping, not just your network, our network as well, right? It's collaboration and
It is a
it's all about
collaborative.
community at the
It
end of the
is.
day,
It is.
and that's kind of how the Hollywood world is. It's community oriented.
It
It's
is
those
totally a community.
connections,
Access,
relationships, access.
access, and answers.
Exactly.
Can I provide the
Exactly.
answer, and can I provide the access?
That's right. That's
And
right.
money's in the money.
Money's in the money. The money's in the money. Yeah. I love it. I love it. No,
Yeah.
that's phenomenal. And I know you've been doing some art too. You've
Yeah,
been
I
crushing it
got,
on
I
that art,
got,
bro.
I was interesting because, thank you. I was interesting because I always been like a hidden artist, and
I had no idea.
yeah,
You just started
I
posting stuff.
just,
I'm like, what? This guy's
yeah,
he's a
and
legend right here.
some of those art it takes me about 3 months to do each one.
Wow.
And one I just finished. I was working on. I'll see, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, it's over. It's August of last year,
Mm,
and so you know, I can take up to about a year because each one of those lines are done. And it's really interesting because it's like a 3-day acrylic art, and I get requests for it to be on small, but I usually do a 48 by 60. So they're
it's
pretty
good
large.
size. Yeah.
Um, and what's interesting about acrylic, you can't make mistakes
Right.
because it's just undoable.
No.
So you got to keep doing it over and over again. So film studios, the film sets, those kind of things. We're getting ready to open up a gallery in Dallas. Yay!
Love it. Heck yeah.
Dallas.
Let's go.
I'm opening that with a good actor, the pretty famous actor out there. I can't say who it is right now, but in Dallas. So we'll be there before the first Q.
Congrats on that.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
exciting.
Yeah, so there is some other activities that we're doing. Again, I don't like dating these interviews, but we have some things that are coming up here next month, and it's still out here in the Empire.
Sweet.
Some interviews. You should be involved with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should
Let
tell
me
you
know.
about that.
Let me know. Yeah. I'll be there. I'll bring the team.
Yeah, you think? I mean, I think some of their there's actually a large art fair, one of the largest in the IE. I think it's in Redlands every November, and so we got invited, this year to be the main guest and stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
they want all of my art to show up,
That's exciting.
and so I'm excited about the art piece. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
mhm.
I had to throw that in there
Yeah,
and
the
then you
art
get it
is
as we
art's good. The art is
yeah.
really good, and but again, when watching the Empire, I've seen, you know, the level of professionalism that you're bringing to the table, and especially with just the diversity of people that are out here, you would
Yeah,
never even know.
that's right. That's
Because
right.
I was listening to a couple of the interviews. I was like, I didn't know those kind of people. I don't know why you would think it wouldn't be there.
Right.
You know what
You
I mean?
just
Because you just don't think that.
you're just looking over the building and looking down, and you're like, "What can't you see?"
Right? Yeah.
Can't see their
Can't see. I'm
titles,
like,
can't
where
see the companies they
I
work for,
can't see them.
can't
Yeah.
yeah. That's right. But that's why it's always great to bring people on because nobody probably would have thought like, "Oh, there's post-production financing that's
Well,
going,"
nobody
like
would think that I would come to Temecula, a guy that is sitting literally at the table of all the you know multi-million dollar projects. Hundreds and hundreds of millions and billions. Well, I wish it was my money,
yeah.
um, but to be able to sit in those rooms
Right.
and be around the minds, the financial minds that make that work.
That's right.
It's a little different. It's not talent. 'Cause most people they see the talent, but they don't see the work that goes behind the talent to
Yes.
get the talent to shine like that.
Mhm.
Um, and it takes a masterful play of forensic auditors,
Yeah.
licensed guys like us because we're licensed as well. So you do have to have people that have the know-how. They can't just be guessing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
You gotta have some rock stars in there that
you
have
got to have it.
experience, they've had good mentors, they have the mindset, they've
And they're global. It's
got
very multicultural.
right.
The financial teams are, and they're from all parts of the world. And then we help empower all the talent,
Right.
and then talent empowers society. And
That's it.
one thing that you have to understand is that film has an impact on society. It can change the direction of how people think and how they act and how they respond. And
Huge
so
influence.
it's
Underrated, underestimated. We actually just talked about that this morning.
yeah.
Yeah, I was telling my team, I said, "Hey, what you listen to, read, or watch
Mhm.
5 minutes prior to going to bed
Yeah,
flows
it
into
sticks.
your
It sticks into your. I mean, yeah,
subconscious,
your subconscious. You
and
wake
then you
up.
wake up the same
It's funny
good or bad, either way."
if I'm watching whatever it is.
Yep.
I was I think it was a couple nights ago. I was just flipping on my phone and I came across Fat Albert. You remember Fat Albert as
Oh,
a
yeah,
kid?
Fat Albert, let's
This
let's
true.
throw it back right now.
I was like, yeah, I was watching it, and I love the music,
Uh,
and so especially when it comes on, I was watching it and I fell asleep.
yeah.
Well, excuse me, guys, but every like 3 o'clock in the morning, I gotta go pee. Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's
So
like 3, 4,
yeah,
5.
whatever. So I wake up, and in my ear I hear, "Hey, hey, hey, it's Fat Albert," and then, so I'm going to the bathroom, going, "Nah, nah, nah, I'm gonna have a good time." Hey, 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 and I said to myself, "Why am I singing that song?"
Yeah. So powerful. So
But
powerful.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
that's
I just remember that. Yeah, so it does
yep.
have an impact on you like that.
I don't watch horror, so I was telling my team, I don't watch horror films.
No, I don't
I
watch
don't
horror films.
watch
Yeah,
I'll watch some thrillers, but I'm not even, like, too fond of, like
right.
if it's too thrilly, too, like, gory, I'm not
I
down.
but
I'm
it's
not in.
what what's really interesting in the actual film world. The horror films are the most funniest films to actually make
Oh, I bet. I could imagine.
on set.
Yeah.
It's funny. They are absolutely when you have to make a gory face and it's cut.
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing at you. Everybody's laughing at you,
Yeah.
and most of your, I would say, majority of your horror films, the people that do them never go back and watch them
Mm,
because they don't like them
right.
either. To them, it's I'm talent,
Yep.
I'm an artist,
Of course.
and I'm just doing that as an artist.
Yeah.
But they won't even watch
I
it.
ain't putting that stuff in my
Yeah,
brain. No thanks.
yeah,
No
yeah.
thanks.
No, I don't. I don't particular. In fact, in our film finance world, we don't actually raise capital for that subject at all,
Mm,
and it's only 5% of the marketplace. So
right.
there's only 150, 160 films a year, and only about 10 to 15 of them are going to be horror anyway.
Right.
So the majority of them are going to be in other categories: drama, family, action pack. pretty
So you're
much.
investing in things that you like
Yeah, I
personally, and
don't
that's
invest on
your
horror films,
right.
man. I don't do horror films a
Yeah.
lot. And you know what? I think that you know, for the most part, between Lucasfilms, Thomasville, I mean, I'm really I actually am compassionate about Thomasville because of what happened to the girl,
Mm.
and I'll tell you offset what happened, but I can't record that
Yeah.
part. You know the truth. But
Yeah.
anyway, um, Russ and some of the other projects that we did, they get really fun. Oh man, I got so many stories.
I know you
Uh,
do.
I can tell you some stories off camera again, but there's some funny ones.
Love it.
But I like working with some of the greatest actors to work with are fun, like RDJ, um, Robert Downey Jr.
Mm.
Or DJ Donnie Job. Um, really fun actors to work with. Um, they got their little quirks, but they're really fun people to work with.
Right.
Everybody that did, was one of the funny ones, and maybe I could talk about this
Let's talk about it.
one. Okay,
Bring it.
so your audience will have to hear this word here. DiCaprio,
Yeah.
one of the nicest guys, respectful guys, so respectful, and he's never worked with, uh, God, what is that guy's name on Django?
Django.
Django, not Jamie Lee Curtis. What's the guy's name?
Who-
No, not Jamie Foxx. Samuel
Samuel.
Jackson.
Oh, okay.
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 If you work with Samuel's gonna get you to cuss.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Samuel,
even cuss. I'm sure he could get
I
me to
know, I
cuss.
know.
Yeah.
But Samuel gets you to cuss, right? So it doesn't matter because Samuel is Samuel, and nobody can take that blankety blank word out of his mouth, right?
Yeah.
I get it. So, but there's another word that was bugging during Django. So I got a friend of mine coming out. I got to go meet Escalante. He's a fighter that was inside of Django when they was like beating with the hammer
Mm.
when DiCaprio handed him the hammer. So in the movie and on the set, and this was actually kind of touching a little bit, but DiCaprio couldn't say the N word, right? Because he said, I can't do it. He goes, man, he goes, Jamie's like, listen, brother, you gotta say the N word. He said, man, I can't. And so for one day, he would say it, but everybody like, cut, bro. You sound like you're a radio. You don't even. It's obvious you don't mean it, but you're an actor. Like DiCaprio, you done did this movie, this movie, this movie. I mean, you done all these movies, and you like knock it out of the park. All we're trying to do is get you to say this one word.
Yeah.
And DiCaprio's like tearing up, and all the other actors that are white are, you know, they're having a problem with it
Right.
because they never been on a project where they have to use their talent to say that word, and the word is never
Yeah.
until Django. So how did they get him to say it? Guess who? Samuel Jackson. Samuel used the MF word. Y'all guys know. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
He says, MF, if you don't say this word, we're not going to get paid, right? And all we need you to say is that one word. And they go, say it. And he's like, he tried it. He goes, no, that's not going to work. He goes, until you can say it right, we ain't move. We're going to say it and say it and say it, right? And
They're really sticking it to him.
and there you go. And so him and Jamie Foxx got up in his face and made him say it until they believed he said it right.
That's funny.
And it took them literally hours. It took him a day and a half because he couldn't do it for a day and a half.
Dang.
And on the second day, he finally did it. But when he actually did it with everything in him, camera cut, we started weeping.
Mm.
And so did some of the other actors. And they all got together and say, listen, we are not going to sell this film unless you guys can really, you got to separate yourself. And DiCaprio, that was one of his hardest films to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So I
funny.
remember that one.
That's a cool
Yeah.
story right there.
Yeah, that was one story.
That wouldn't be cool nowadays. There's
Yeah, yeah, and again, when you're a good actor, it's and you work with, it's funny because people don't know how to separate that.
Right.
The reality of that,
You
but they
gotta
don't
be in
know that a white actor, not one actor, white actor, likes saying that word,
of
and
course.
so when you see them say it, the black actor is going, you got to say it till I believe it,
Yeah.
right? And when you guys see it, and if it can make you mad or
Yeah.
sad,
You gotta feel
and you got a
the
feeling,
emotion,
they
yeah.
work. It worked
Right.
because what they don't know is that when the camera's off, these are some of the best people that you'd want to get along. That they would never. That word never comes out of their mouth
They love
afterwards.
each other, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a community.
and it's a community, and
Yeah.
it's incredible, and I think that is something I've seen. I think some of the hardest working actors are like TC is a hard working. We did. Well, most people don't know Maverick. We finished Maverick, I think, during COVID,
Hmm.
but TC wouldn't let it air until it was all over. So we already did the red carpet for Maverick.
Wow.
I think it was the date was November 19th, 20 something, 2022. No, 2020. Yeah, 2020.
2020. Wow.
November 19th, 2020, we did the red carpet for that
Hmm.
that project.
Wow.
And it got pulled. And what I liked about Maverick was the jet rides. And
So they what happened? Why'd they pull it?
oh, because it was during because
Because of COVID
TC,
and
yeah,
all of that?
TC pulled it,
Yeah.
and those films don't go unless he green lights them.
So none of like all of those films and everything that they're working on, they didn't just push them to
They
like
push them
later
back
down the road? Oh,
later
they
down the
did.
road,
Yeah. Okay.
and then in our field, being on the investment side, we
Which that's
couldn't,
hard.
which
Yeah.
was
You got
hard.
money sitting out
We
there.
sitting.
Yeah.
We can't put nothing in,
Right.
and we was like, oh. And
Everyone's
now, right
money's
now,
out
I
there
got
floating.
24 projects. Right, now. I got 24 films. I need more capital.
Yeah.
So I need about 30 million right now. So just for today.
Yeah, just for today. Well, if you're out there, you're looking to invest, obviously you take people through a solid vetting process and make sure they're
It's a lot of
dialed
it's
in and
a lot of it is it's really a relationship. And when people are interested, it's alternative investing. So usually
right,
they got a short term, a mid term, a long term play. Um, and if they're real estate people, they usually don't like our particular product.
right,
But it's not for everybody. But it's for a person that understands that at 7%, we can do a 7% flat on an annual. It's very good,
yeah.
uh, and does
And
one
you're on the
percent
post
risk.
production side, so
Yes,
all the other hard work's already
yeah, it's already done.
completed.
It's
Yeah.
already done, and
Mm,
so I don't think we're going anywhere now. I don't think that the industry is going right. It's just growing.
yeah.
And I think that marketing, different types of marketing companies are going to be a part of this somewhere down the line, especially with AI.
Yeah.
And it's there's no better time to be involved with having a good, solid marketing agency right now,
Absolutely.
because the it's a different world today in film,
Yep.
and it used to be a little different than that. It used to be where people would do different things to attract certain um, crowds, but now people are like influencers.
Yeah. Consumer behavior has changed, and the way we buy products, the way we make
especially if you un-
purchases, and
Especially if you understand the like you have the like you got the baby boom generation,
right.
so boomers buy different,
Yep.
Gen X buys different, Gen
100%.
Z buys different, but the equal boomers are even bigger than that.
Hmm.
They're 8 times the size, and so we find that you have to use a lot of chasers with them.
Right.
um, and you just got to approach each one different. So like when we look at investors, we look at guys that um, not just the financial part, but can you actually walk the red carpet?
Yeah.
and not be a terrorist in the part of
DiCaprio, Sandler.
What's up, boy? What's up? Yo, I got you over here. Oh,
Let me get a picture.
Yeah, yo, man,
Selfies.
selfie, man.
Just
Hey.
walking up and down all day.
No, you can't be doing that. So
Have you
that
ever had any guys like that?
no,
Any of
I
your investors?
actually,
No. You
I
had to have
haven't.
had one.
I have.
Like,
Well,
you don't
I
have to
tell you,
put them on blast.
yeah,
It's
I can't
okay.
put them on
It's
blast.
okay.
I did have one that didn't want to leave,
Mm.
and so
They just slept on the carpet.
oh gosh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's just horrible. They just want to sit there and remember everybody's like,
Starstruck,
you
like
know,
from the movies.
honey, I'm home. What's that movie? God, Jack Nicholson. I can't remember it. You know,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
What is it? The Shining?
The Shining. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The Shining. Honey, I'm home. Just sitting back, look. You know,
That's hilarious.
it's amazing. But
That's awesome.
yeah, it's I love what I do, because it's more than just receiving investors' capital.
Yeah.
We bond, we build a relationship, we provide them a network because inside that access, when you because most people don't know what the red carpets are about. So when you walk
Right.
the red carpet, it's talent, then it's executive staffing, and then it's investors.
Hmm.
So you get that all on the carpet, and then you meet up in the back, watch the film project, and say thank you and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
And some people are handed the mic, and some people are not. But
Right.
but there's a gathering of the investors and a gathering of executives, and they all get together at that time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good insight. That's good getting in the
Let's do
inside
it.
the empire right there.
Right.
So you're in the relationship business. I love it. Love your story, and I mean all the stories. There's more than
I
just
got
one.
more. I got
Yeah,
more.
we can go all day long. Unfortunately, we got to wrap this thing up.
Let's do it.
Here.
Okay.
But biggest takeaways: money's in the money.
The money
Right?
is in the
The
money,
money is in the money.
and you got to be the answer.
You got to be the answer.
And you got to have access.
Yeah, love it. And then some really good insider perspectives on mindset and a lot of things that you learn that I know our audience is going to have some huge takeaways.
Sure.
The DiCaprio story, that's pretty rad too.
Yeah.
Being able to overcome that,
Yeah.
that is all mentality. It's all mindset right there. You
Right.
know, so having to
Completely.
overcome those obstacles that we place inside ourselves sometimes. You know, those
Right.
barriers that we build.
Right.
So that's phenomenal. All
Yep.
good stuff. Really appreciate you having on. Where can people find you?
Oh wow! You can just go to the easiest way is to go to our website at Young Young. I see here Young SOOINV. I is in what eyeball? No. INV. N is in Nancy. V is in Victor.com. Or they can go to my IG and find me there at the real Mark Anthony. That's where they find me at.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We appreciate having you on and look forward to catching up again.
Yeah,
here in
let's
the
do it, man.
future.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. Got to get you to the red carpet. Can you
Let's
act?
go.
But you not act right?
Well,
Does this
no,
team?
I'm gonna be like,
who's here? Is anybody? All you guys here? He got a big team, y'all. Hey, listen. Does he know how to act right when you go to a red carpet?
yo, Will Smith, what's up, boy?
Thank you for having me. I
Bad
appreciate
boys for life.
it. I got a story about that. We'll talk about it next time, though.
All right.
Appreciate you letting me on.
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Inside the Empire podcast. Mark Anthony, make sure to follow him,
Woo!
support him. If you're interested in investing in film,
Yes.
this guy's the one to talk to. He's got a lot of good connections. He's in the business of relationships. And if you want to build, expand your network, connect with him. He's a busy guy, though. Can't guarantee he's going to be able to meet with you. But if you do get the chance and the privilege, he's a really good guy to get to know. So thank you, Mark.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate being here.
All right.
Peace.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
That was fun. Was that good, man?